Good day, everyone. So, we are day group 3 and we are tasked to discuss all about mga gunita ng himagsikan by Emilio Aguinaldo. So, before we proceed to our discussion, we have intended learning outcomes. So, first, assesses the characteristics of Aguinaldo's leadership as presented in his memoirs. Second, explain the importance of mga gunita ng himagsikan to the grand narrative of the Philippine history. Third, evaluate the relevance of the document to the present time. So here are the different backgrounds of the author. So, Emilio Aguinaldo was born on March 22, 1869 in Kawit, Cavite. He was the seventh among the children of Carlos Hamir Aguinaldo and Trinidad Fami Aguinaldo. Became a Freemason during 1895, joining the Pilar Lodge number 203 in Imus, Cavite with the codename Colon. He also joined the Katipunan and used the nom de Guerre Magdalo in honor of Mary Magdalena. Aguinaldo became the first and the youngest president of the country by being the first Philippine Republic. His presidency was cut short when he was captured by the American soldiers in Palanan, Isabela. Emilio Aguinaldo died of coronary thrombosis on February 6, 1964. So, historical background of mga gunita ng himagsikan produced between 1928 to 1946. So, Aguinaldo produced the first volume of his memoirs between 1928 and 1946. The memoirs include account from the Aguinaldo's birth and early years until the signing of Biak na Bato Treaty in 1897. The original memoirs in Tagalog were prepared by Aguinaldo in his own handwriting between 1928 to 1946. At the end of 1963, after much deliberation, he decided to publish his memoirs.
First volume. Aguinaldo produced the first volume of his memoirs between 1928 and 1946. The memoirs include accounts from Aguinaldo's birth and early years until the signing of the Biak na Bato Treaty in 1897. It was at the end of 1963 that Aguinaldo, after much deliberation, decided to publish his memoirs. Aguinaldo's memoirs includes accounts beginning from his birth, his early life, and his participation in the revolution. However, the first volume ends the memoir only with the details of the treaty in Biak in Bato. Aguinaldo scribed a lot on his old age between 1928 and 1946. He produced in longhand the first volume of his memoirs, Mga Gunita ng Himagsikan 1964, translated from the original Tagalog as Memoirs of the Revolution on 1967. In this preface, si Aguinaldo niingon that the memoirs were based on a diary he kept, documents he preserved, and family lore gathered from his elders. We do not know whether this diary is extant or whether a promised. The memoirs include information about the Sangguniang Bayan, especially the Magdalo and the Magdiwang, whom took a key role in claiming the victory of independence for the lalawigan of Cavite against Spain. The Assembly of Magdiwang, or the Monarchials Bonifacio, and Magdalo, Republican Aguinaldo. It also included some details that help or aid in comprehending the Filipino people contains under the Spanish administration or regime. Aguinaldo forcibly set up a provisional dictatorship in the country. He declared Philippine independence on June 12, 1898 and sworn in as the first president of the new self-governed Philippine Republic. In first volume, diha nato mahibaw-an kung ano nga ba ang nangyari noong unang panahon. Kung ano ang pagbabagong nangyari sa panahong ito. Gusto rin ni Emilio Aguinaldo na malaman natin kung paano nga ba nakuha ng Pilipinas ang kalayaan. Kung sino-sino ang mga taong nasa likod nito at kung ano nga ba ang hakbang na ginawa nila para maging malaya ang ating bansa o ang ating minamahal na bansa. It showcased the truth of revolutionary transformation, advocates for freedom and democratic principles. It also helped historians fill gaps in history, preserving the nation's past and also emphasizing lessons from the past revolution.
Content in document year 1896 Battle in Imus. On September 1, 1896, Jose Tagle, a Filipino military officer, asked Emilio Aguinaldo to help him in invading the Spaniards in Imus, Cavite, where Aguinaldo created his strategy in invading the Spaniards. The resulting decisive victory for the revolutionaries in Imus, Cavite, very much alarmed in the Spanish government in the country. The following conflict, the attempt to subdue the revolutionaries in Cavite province with the twin battles in Binakayan and the Lahican weeks after the battle in Imus.
December 30, imprisonment of Rizal. On the other hand, on December 30, 1896, Jose Rizal was imprisoned in Puerto Santiago, Manila, and punished for filibusterismo court-martial. Aguinaldo, with the help of Bonifacio, attempted to help Jose Rizal. Pero niingon si Don Pasiano Rizal nga dili nila i-save utabangan si Rizal para malikayan ang pagpatay sa mga soldiers. So, they didn't pursue the plan. Also, on December 30, the Katipunans in Pateros asked for help to Aguinaldo to attack the camp of Cazadores in Taguig. They entered Pateros, but unfortunately, Fraile Mariano Corcuera gave himself up for others to be saved. As their opponents came from Pasig, the group of Aguinaldo gave gunshots which resulted of the retreat of their opponents.
1897 Battle of the Puti Bridge or Paris des Marines. General Artemio Riccardi and General Mariano Rigo Didius have been delayed to come on the right time to fuse with General Aguinaldo. They arrived in Scribano and established 3 camps. The next day, the Cazadores arrived in Scribano. The group of Infanteria Filipino was the first to fight in the Cazadores. Though a lot of them were dying, they still continued to fight, but they soon retreated because of the loss of men. Therefore, the group of Commander Julian Montalban continues the fight, which results in the decrease of the men of Cazadores. However, the group of Colonel Lucas Camareno was defeated by General Zabala, bringing artillery, and they started to invade Aguinaldo groups. The reason why they retreated from this battle is due to the 400 loss of their soldiers. Aguinaldo asked the president of Magdalo in Imus for help, since they can't handle the opponent but no one is coming because there's a non-stop battle in Zapote. Therefore, Aguinaldo decided to go to San Nicolas to bring some soldiers. When he arrived, he saw the town was devastated because the opponents had entered the Molino. When he saw General Peyo del Pilar, he persuaded the general to refuse the fight against fellow Tagalogs, ordering his men to hold their fire. But his presidency was cut short when he was captured by the American soldiers in Palanan, Isabela, which dissolved the First Republic due to his pledge of loyalty to the American government. In 1935, the Commonwealth Government of the Philippines was established. Aguinaldo ran for the president, but he was beaten by Manuel L. Quezon that caused him to retire from political or public life. In 1950, Aguinaldo was appointed by President Elpidio Quirinoas, a member of the Council of State. In his later years, he devoted much attention to veterans' affairs, the promotions of nationalism and democracy in the Philippines. Due to coronary thrombosis, he was hospitalized on October 25, 1962, in the Veterans Memorial Hospital, currently known as the Veterans Memorial Medical Center, in Diliman, Quezon City, and was confined for 469 days before he died on the 6th of February 1964 at the age of 94 years old.